Hi, Stitchy friends. Welcome. My name is Joanne and I am the Eclectic Stitcher. Today is Friday, January 2nd, 2026. Hey, we made it to another year. I hope that you have had a wonderful New Year's, wonderful Christmas with your family. I've had a good wet break. I work for a college here in Florida, and we had 3 weeks of winter break, which was nice. First week was great. I was able to kind of start getting myself organized and figuring out what I want to do for the 3 weeks that I'm out, and then Christmas week hit, and I got sick that Monday. So I spent my Christmas in bed for the most part. I did get out here and there, but it was rough. I didn't have all that stuff that's out there, no flu. I had strep throat, and you know what? Strep throat is not fun. I didn't eat for 4 days. I had a hard time drinking. It was just awful. So I am glad that I am 100% better today and that I'm able to come to you. I had every intention of recording a regular FlossTube video, and I also owe you a FlossTube Extra where I show you all my stitchy stuff. I'm going to try to find a way to show you my stitchy room, but if not, I'll bring things to the video, bring things here, and I'll show you how I organize things. I'll show you my sheets that I use to keep track of progress and all that jazz. Thank you for coming. If you're new here, I hope that you find something that you like. I hope that I can enable you. And if you're a returning viewer, hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for continuing to come back and spend some time with me. So let's get started. I did want to kind of give an update. Since I was last here, I attended a local retreat. One of Tampa Bay Stitchers. Like I said, I live in Florida. I'm in the center of the state. I'm about an hour and a half south of Orlando, in the center of the state, in a town called Avon Park in Sebring. So my local LNS is in Tampa or Largo, which is about 2 hours to the west coast of me. And so there is a group there that gets together at a library, and I haven't made it there yet to meet with them. They meet once a month, and so that's going to be one of the things that I want to do this year. Is just kind of go there once a month and meet with them. I don't have any local stitchers here, so I do have to travel to meet up with stitchers, and that's okay. I don't have a problem doing that. But they do a Christmas get together every year, and I've attended the last 2 years, and it's just so much fun. You get to see your old friends, you get to meet new friends, and it's just fun. I love it. And so I attended that. I attended the Jingle Ball, which is an online event hosted by Stephanie, who is Lindy Stitches. So if you've never done Jingle Ball, you're missing out. Hopefully I can enable you to attend next year or this year. But it's usually hosted the first weekend in December. And she also hosts events throughout the year. If you want more information, I will link her below and you can look at the schedule that she has out for online events. So if you're someone that cannot travel to retreats physically, which is, I only can do a couple of retreats a year because I cannot travel out of the state due to my work schedule, and because, of course, it costs a lot of money to do that. So I do a lot of online events. I do a lot of Discord, Zoom meetups. So just fun stuff, something to keep us motivated and also interacting with other stitchers when you don't have somebody nearby. So I attended the Jingle Ball, and that's about it. I'm just kind of looking at my notes so I remember. I do have a one-day retreat coming up on the 10th of January. My local LNS is Crafty Framers, and so they host a one-day retreat on a Saturday about every quarter. So their next one is coming up January 10th. So I'm excited about that. That retreat usually has about 75 attendees. So it's really nice. Like I said, get to see old friends, get to meet up with new people. It's just a way to get together. I'm hoping that you cannot hear the traffic going by. I have my window open just because it's nice outside. This morning, I took my daughter to work in at 7 and it was 43 degrees. And I thought, oof, that's really cold. But it's nice. So I've had my windows open the last few days because it's been really nice here. It's been in the 50s and low 60s, which is for us in Florida, it's very chilly. I know for a lot of you in the other states, it's very warm. So, but anyways, hopefully you won't hear traffic go by. If you do, I apologize, and I'll remember for next time not to have my window open. I don't edit videos, so you get what you get. And hopefully you'll come back. But I do apologize in advance. Anyway, so let's get going. I did want to talk real briefly before I show you my webs about plans for 2026. I normally participate in I Spy, which is a challenge, a prompt challenge that Laura by Stitching by the Shore creates. And every month she gives you 10 prompts. And so I usually like playing that because it kind of gets me to work with different whips. And I also try to participate in monthly magazine challenges. Right now, they are hosting Baringo, which you will stitch every day. I will list them below if you don't know who they are. It's a Facebook group run by Carolyn C. Sook Stitch and Robin, who is Bird's Eye Stitches. And so they do challenges, they do monthly acrostics, but they also do a couple of games throughout the year. They have Baringo, they have Springo, which I'm not sure when that's in the spring sometime. And then in September they do ABCingo. I don't count stitches. That game, you either count stitches or count or keep track of hours. And the goal is to stitch 100 stitches a day or 1 hour a day. The thing is that I don't when I came back to stitching, because I was off of stitching for a few months last year, when I came back to stitching, I decided I'm not going to count stitches. I can keep track of some time, but I'm not going to count stitches, and I'm not going to plan what projects I am going to stitch. What I do is I have a random wheel with all my whips listed, and when I want to stitch, I spin that, and then I select a, sorry, I talk with my hands, sorry, it's the Spanish in me. When I spin that, I pick that whip up, and if that whip fits either an I Spy prompt or if it fits a WIPGO, or I'm sorry, Baringo prompt, then I will put that, not Baringo, monthly magazine acrostics. I'm not going to do Baringo just because that's a daily thing and I just can't do that. I can, and I may. What I do is when I stitch on something, I just pick, hey, does that fit in there? And I put it in there. Anyways, let me keep going here. But one thing that I am going to try to do again this year is WIPGO. And that is an event or a challenge created by Jessie Marie Does Stuff. I will also link her below if you're interested in that. But the idea is to select whips or starts that you want to do throughout the year. Every month she selects 2 numbers, and then you put on, you've got a bingo board, and so whatever number she selects for the month, you work on that. And you create your own rules. As your board, your rules. You do whatever you want, whether it's counting stitches or finishing, whatever you want to do. So this year I decided I'm going to do that. I did WIPGO back in 2023, but I did not select charts, specific charts. What I did is I did a designer focus bingo card. Basically, I put names of designers on my bingo board, and when that number got selected, Then I had the option of going to all my charts that I have for that designer and decide, okay, which one of these charts or whips do I want to do? So to me, that gives me the flexibility to pick when that time comes. I just feel like if I say, okay, I'm going to stitch Merry and Bright by Tiny Modernist, but when that number gets called, if I don't want to stitch on that, then I'm stuck. Then what am I going to do? So I did that in 2023, and I'm going to do that for 2026. The only difference is that for 2026, I decided to put 9 WIPs or 9 designers for WIPs, 9 designers for new starts. So any designer that I have not started, or even if I have charts for the same designers as WIPs, but I specified, okay, if you pick number 3 and it says new, that means that I have to start a new project for that specific designer. So I have 9 WIPs, 9 new starts. I do have number 13, which is the middle square. I do have that as a freebie. So if she calls 13, I take that time off. And then I have six. Then I have 6 squares assigned to diamond painting. And if you watch my last video, I showed a diamond painting that I started for a friend. And so it's the only one I'm working right now because I want to focus on that as much as I can and get it done hopefully by summertime. So that's my board. And this month she called number 2 and 7, which both of those blocks are, no, not WIPs, diamond painting. So yay, this month I can do diamond painting. And my goal is to stitch on each number, each block that is called 5 hours. And I'm doing it in 30 minutes increments. I'm sorry that I don't edit. I wish I had a way to show you, post it on my screen, but I can't do that. But if you're interested in seeing that, I will post it in my Instagram. You can find me at Joanne the Eclectic Stitcher on Instagram. Go ahead and follow me if you like. But I will post my board, my planning sheet for that, and how I keep track of time. And then I'll be posting my before and after pictures in there. If you're in WIPGO and you're in the Facebook group, I will also post it there, which actually I have it posted there now. So anyway, so that's what I'm going to do for now. Now challenges will come up throughout the year and I'll jump in as much as I can. But other than that, I just kind of keep things flexible. I don't want to stress about stitching or selecting projects. I just kind of do what I want when I want. And the other thing that I'm going to participate in this year, I am in the Goose, who is Denise. I am in her Discord group. If you don't know what Discord is, or you're not sure what we do, it's just an online way to meet with others. It's like Zoom. I know Discord is being used for gaming a lot, but now the cross stitch community has created servers where we can go in and sit and chat with others. And it's open 24/7, so you can pop in anytime. Sometimes there's people in there, sometimes there's not. But we do little challenges throughout the year. We've got monthly designers that we select. We're doing monthly birthdays. So if your birthday is in January and you're stitching on a specific project and you want others to join you, we have that option to do that. We do small exchanges. They did one for Christmas last year, and they're going to be doing one for the 250th anniversary small exchange. And because that is not until the summertime, I have time to actually find a small and stitch it and have it ready and FFO'd. So I am looking forward to doing that. And that's pretty much what my plans are right now. Of course, things change, things get added. Maybe I decide not to do it. And that's okay. My rules. There is no cross stitch police out there, so I do what I want when I want. But anyways, I don't know if I said this before, but I hope that you had a great Christmas and Happy New Year's. I did participate in the New Year's Eve 12 by 12. Basically what that is it starts at 12 noon your time and it runs through midnight. And when this was created back a few years ago by Bia Key and Pam from Just Keep Stitching, the idea was to start 12 new projects and work on it for 12 hours straight. Over the years, things have changed or people have implemented their own rules. What I do is I pick 6 WIPs and I will work on them for about an hour and a half. And then when the hour and a half is up, then I take about a 20-minute break, whether that's going to the restroom or just walking, stretching. I can lay down, get a quick cat nap, and then that gives me an extra 10 minutes to get my next WIP ready and then start my next hour and a half. So I did that and I jumped around different Zoom groups and Discord groups just to kind of share the wealth. When you're part of a couple different groups, I did want to give time to several groups. My favorite is the Discord group. Those ladies are great. They're fun to hang out with. And yeah, so that's what I did. And then New Year's Day, Miss Karen, who is the Stitching Owl, she does Zoom groups a couple times throughout the month. I don't attend because I do work full-time job, but she did have a New Year's Day Zoom stitch, and it was great. Had a lot of fun. She does 2-hour Zooms. Got to meet new people. Got to see some people that I knew. And it's small. I think she only keeps it down to 15, maybe 20 people. But we had consistently, I think, 14, 12 people. So it was great. It was a small group. We got to show what we were working on. We played a game, which was really fun. Got to hear about new FlossTubers that I didn't know about. And so that was great. So I've stayed busy. Besides Christmas week, I feel like I really just lost Christmas week. I was in bed sick. I didn't do any stitching or anything during Christmas week. So this week I've been staying pretty busy, kind of getting things done, reorganizing my stitchy room and just kind of doing things. But it's Friday. I go back to work on Monday. I am looking forward to going back to work. I do like my job. I do miss my coworkers. I do miss being around people. So, although my daughter lives with me, but she's 18. She works. She does her thing. I may see her coming in and out of the house, but that's it. So I do miss going to work. So I am looking forward to going to work Monday and continuing routine. I did not get out of routine. I still woke up the same time I do usually when I go to work. I get ready, I put on some clothes, and I do things around the house. So it's been great, fun. I've talked enough. So let me show you my WIPs, and because I really want to keep this down to 30 minutes, and we're at 18 minutes, and all I've done is talk. But that's what happens when you try to catch up. So do apologize. Let me get those WIPs ready, and let's go. Okay, this first one that I'm going to show you is actually my diamond painting. And with diamond painting, you don't really get a picture chart, but this is what I'm working on. When I did show this the last time, I think I only had a little piece here done. And as you can see, hopefully you can tell all of this is done up to here. So I'm nearly almost half done. But that's what I've done since you last saw it. I really like doing this. I did spend a lot of time. The first week that I was out of work, I spent quite a bit of time with this. So hopefully, I don't know, I do get to work on this for 10 hours this month. So can I get it finished? I don't know. We'll see. So the next time we'll see what it looks like. So that's my diamond painting. Like I said, that's the only one I'm working on. I did have a start. This one actually popped up in my random wheel because I did have it kitted. And I just had never started it. So when it popped up, I was excited. And I'll show you that. But this is Red Panda. This is by Lindy Stitches. And this was part of her Endangered Species Club that she had back in 2024. And so I was in the club. In the club, when you were part of the club, you would get the chart and the specialty floss, which is usually for either Classic Colorworks or Weeks Dye Works, I think. No, Weeks Dye Works. You usually get like 4 Weeks Dye Works, and then the rest of the colors is DMC that you use from your stash. So I started this the day after Christmas. And like I said, it just came up on the whip wheel and I started it. And I think I got a pretty good start. Usually when I have big blocks of colors, I like to frame, do the outline out. And then that way, when I stitch on it again, if I'm on Zoom or Discord, all I have to do is fill in. So, but I really enjoyed working on this. I am working this on an 18 count Ada, and the color is Silver Moon. It's almost like an off-white or grayish white, but I am stitching. This was the number 5, so I do have all of them. I think there was 6 or 7. So they're all stitched on the same count fabric because I do want them all the same. So there it is. I think his face is so cute. So there's my start, and that was my only start that I had. The rest of these are whips, and I don't have a lot because, like I said, I didn't do a whole lot of stitching, but I did enough. This one is Spring Banner by Stony Creek Collection. And this was just a freebie that I got at a retreat back in 2023. And so I had started this piece for an event I did back in 2023. And the event required me to stitch on something that had a bird on it, and so that's what I picked. Now, what I worked on was this house here. I finished this here, and I think I did a little bit here too. Either here, yes, here on this side. So, and this is on a 14 count Ada that I purchased at Michael's. Don't know if you can see it. The color it's a printed bluish, greenish color. I don't know if you can really tell there or not, but yeah. So that's what I worked on. I am not going to stitch this border, and I am not going to stitch this. The only thing I am stitching is the actual picture. So there's that. This next one is called Colors of Fall by Robin Pickens. This is my first stitch for Robin Pickens. I actually won this from a giveaway. And because this chart came to me with all the DMC colors, I just went ahead and picked a fabric. I'm stitching this on an 18 count Ada white. I had a piece big enough to stitch that, so I started it. And since I last shown it, I worked on this. I really put a lot of progress. I worked on this, and I think I got this done here. And I still have to unstitch that. I told you in the last video that I missed a row here in the orange part, so this has to come out one more row. I have not frogged it out yet. I haven't decided if I'm going to leave it or redo it, so we'll see. But that's Colors of Fall. And if you have any questions or if you want any details on any of the whips that I show you, let me know. Just put a comment below and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. Or if you just wanted to comment, say hello or whatever. I really love the comments and I appreciate you interacting with me. This next one that I stitched on is called 4th of July Independence Day by Annabella's. I am stitching this on an 18 count Ada in the color Silver Moon, which is the same fabric that I use for the endangered species. And this just came up on my wheel. If you've been here long enough, I am not a seasonal stitcher. I stitch, like I said before, whatever, whenever. So yes, I will stitch patriotic charts during the summer. I will stitch it in December, I'll stitch it whenever, just like I'll stitch Christmas whenever. But I'm not a seasonal stitcher. I do have things that are seasonal, but I don't stitch them on that season. I stitch them whenever they come up on my wheel or just when I want to. Now, I did put a lot of progress here. I did finish the bird. I did this up here, and I really put a lot of progress in this. I probably worked on this 3 or 4 days. Now, when I work on projects, on WIPs or any projects, I usually work on them 2 to 3 days, and then I switch out. Sometimes I'll work on it 4 days or 5 days, because sometimes I get so into a project that, especially when there's like motifs like that, if I need to finish a motif, I will finish. And if it takes me 3 days, it's going to take me 3 days. And I enjoy doing that. As long as I get in the mood and do it, hey, do what you want, right? This next one is this is of the Long Dog Samplers. There's the name. Oh, the name's not there, but Between Dog and Wolf is what the translation came out. I forget what country they're from. But this I am stitching on a 28 count Lugana by Atomic French Fabrics. The color's Wild Mint. And I am using DMC and Anchor Black for this. So the black is Anchor, and then the other colors is DMC. And when I last picked this up, I think I worked on this section here. I did find out that I made a boo-boo in this. So when I started this, I think I started it either one row up or one row down. So when I pick this up again, I am going to keep going around and getting that moon done, and then I'll adjust everything else. And I think it'll be fine. There's a lot of block color there, and I probably can just cut a row off of here or something, so it's not a big deal. But I was not going to frog this out. Okay. There's that. And the last one that I have here, which is great. Look at that. I'm going to get this in within 30 minutes. This is an old chart. This is called Bountiful. This is by Fat Quarter Shop. This is actually a freebie for Make-A-Wish Foundation in 2023. Fat Quarter Shop will have a special chart that they provide for free for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And the idea for that is, if you are going to stitch it, they do want you to donate to the Make-A-Wish Foundation in Texas. So yes, it is free, but if you're going to stitch it, donate. So I did donate at the time. And so I've been stitching this for quite a while. Like I said, this was back from, usually they do this around March. So if you're interested in that, you can look up all their charts that they've had for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I do have a couple others, but I did put a little bit more work on this here. I think I pretty much worked in this flower and put this in. Yes, I do still have to finish the border, but sometimes, I don't know, I'm not really a border person. Normally, I like to go in and just add to it when I pick it up. I haven't done that in a while. I've been most focused on getting this done. Yes, I do have some incomplete areas, but that's because I still need to get the color floss. And I think what I might just do is just find a color that matches, which is that blue, that light blue. I think I'm just going to do that. I'm not worried about getting the exact color. So that's Bountiful, and I'm just stitching this on a 16 count Ada color white and using the DMC colors. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, look out for a special video. I think I'll probably record that sometime today. I'm still trying to get some stuff organized and put away, but I'll get that video out either today or sometime this weekend. There was something I wanted to kind of close with today. One of the things I want to do, I watch a lot of FlossTubes, and I love it when some of these FlossTubers kind of finish their videos with some kind of motivational or just something nice that they say to us. And I really like that, and I thought, I need to start doing something similar. So I had thought about something. I kind of wrote it down last night. Let me get that, and I'll be right back. Okay. So this is just kind of something that I found last night and I thought it was great. Perfect. So it says, I want to say how grateful I am for this little stitchy community we share, whether it's through FlossTube or through Discord or through Zoom or Facebook groups. Whether you stitch today or just listen along while you watch me, you belong here. Remember that your projects don't need to be perfect to be meaningful. Take your time, enjoy the quiet moments, and let your stitching serve you. No other way around that. This year, I want you to choose kindness towards yourself and your creativity. And that's important. We need to be kind to ourselves. We need to be kind to our creativity, which that may sound a little crazy, but sometimes I feel like we are too hard on ourselves. Don't be hard on yourself. Enjoy it. This is for us to enjoy, not to stress over it. Okay. I want to thank you for spending time with me today, and I will see you soon. Until the next time, happy stitching, friends. Bye.